Hi, I'm Angela M. Odom. I retired from the military and Army after serving 26 years on honorable service in August 2015. I love sharing practical opportunities, observations, and goodness with like-minded people. I want to support you in reaching your highest self. I recommend you follow me at angelaodom.com and subscribe to my blog. You can get my thoughts, efforts, and experiences delivered directly to your inbox. We'll be talking about various topics. This day, we have the privilege and honor to talk to Mr. Willie Walker about his experiences with diabetes management, reduction, and control. He's saving lives. Diabetes kills more Americans each year than breast cancer and AIDS combined. In the next 24 hours, over 130 people would develop kidney failure because of diabetes. That's nearly 50,000 friends, neighbors, co-workers, or family members every year. Recent estimates project that as many as 1 in 3 American adults, will have diabetes by 2050, unless we take steps to stop diabetes. Every 19 seconds, someone is diagnosed with diabetes. That's more than 32,000 friends, neighbors, coworkers, and family members in the next 7 days. 1 in 11 Americans has it. 1 in 4 adults who has it doesn't even know it. 1 in 3 adults is at risk of developing it. It is diabetes and it must be stopped. So again, we have the privilege to hear from Mr. Willie Walker on his experiences. Mr. Walker,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for coming and having me here.
We're really excited to hear about your experiences, especially your symptoms initially, and then what inspired you to take action, and what did you do?
Well, I basically was walking around with diabetes for, as my doctor said, for a while when I went in. My symptoms was always hungry, always thirsty, frequent urination, and I just wrote it off as just something that was going on. And when I went into him to get a checkup, he came. They took all my labs and everything, and he came back in and he said, "Willie, you're diabetic." And I said, "No, I'm not." He said, "Yes, you are." I said, "Why you say that?" He showed your sugars. Excuse me. He said your sugar's at 350, and he put me straight on insulin, and he gave me a plan of what to do to start controlling it. I then asked him, "What do I need to do to get off this insulin?" He said, "Exercise and eat right." And again, I said, "Well, I'm going to be off this insulin." I said, "Give me 2 weeks and I will be off this insulin." He says to me, "Give yourself 2 weeks because this is your body. This is your problem. I am just your doctor helping you along with it." And I said, "Yes, sir." So I started taking the insulin about 1 week. And the next week I started taking it, but I was still doing my same routine, the same eating and everything. And it just dawned on me, I got to get this under control. And from that point, I started eating right, eating much of what I wanted, just less, exercising. I was doing an hour worth of walking in the morning, an hour worth of walking in the evening, and it reduced tremendously. So when I went back to him within about a month and a half, because that's when he told me to come back, it had reduced tremendously. And he says to me, "What are you doing?" And I told him exactly what I was doing. And he wanted me to come in and talk to a group of men that was on diabetes and tell him exactly what I was doing. So I did. The first group of guys I talked to, about 22 of them, and they were older gentlemen. And well, first my doctor told me this. Let me back up. My doctor told me this. He said a lot of people, long as they have a medicine to take, they won't do what they need to do along with the medicine. You can take all the medicine you want, but if you're not doing what it takes to help the medicine, it's all for naught. And that's what I had to learn when I was doing the insulin shots. I was shooting up the insulin, but I wasn't eating right. I wasn't dieting right, and my sugar just stayed high. So when I stopped all the eating and I started the exercises, that's when my sugar started to drop, and it showed from the first week. Once I saw what it did in the first week, that built my morale up to, hey, if I can do this in 1 week, cut it down in 1 week like this, what would the next week be? So I went even harder the next week, the next week, and the next week. And it got down tremendously, and I stayed with it. Now, going back forward to what I was saying, when I went in and talked to the group of guys about 22, and I asked all of them a question, what they doing, how they eat, what they tell me, what I want to eat. I eat all I can eat, but I take insulin, but my sugar's still up. So I shared with them my experience. And after we finished talking, I told them my doctor set up another meeting, and I took names of that 22. Well, he took names of the 22 and set up another meeting. The next meeting was about 60 some guys, and I was so surprised of all the young men that came. And when I looked at the young guys that had diabetes, so diabetes that's when I learned it affects the young and old and everybody. So when I had the conversation with them and I checked back, there were three guys that came up to me after our conversation and told them they had started this plan that I had put them on, which it wasn't a plan for me. I just said what I did. So they used it as a plan. They said they cut back, they ate what they wanted to eat. They just did small portions and they exercised. And they told me how it just dropped tremendously and they're going to stay with it. And that's basically what I did. Now they say diabetes is a life change. And it is. It is. And to me, in my opinion, it just it's just two things. A life change is just two things. And it's basically eating right and exercise along with the medicine you take. If you don't eat right or exercise, all the medicine you take is all for naught. All for naught. Do you have anything else, Ms. Owen?
Right. So for your family, what was their reaction to your diagnosis?
Oh wow. My wife was shocked because she looked at me as being a healthy person. She was shocked, and my kids really didn't know at the time what it was all about. What it was all about. Their grandmother was dealing with it, and they just knew what she was going through with it and what she did. And speaking on that point, my mother-in-law, she had been dealing with it for years. And when I told her about it, oh, she gave me so much education on it. She gave me books, her dealing with it. She told me what I could eat and what I couldn't eat. She was very, very informative. She was very informative. And most of the time, when I get to a point, I call her and I say, "Well, what if I eat this and I eat this?" And she said, basically, baby, eat it if you want it. She said, just get up and walk 15 minutes and burn it off. But my girls, when I got into the exercise mode, my exercise mode moves in the house and they see me walk around the house just because I have made me a little track inside the house from then to down the room, a little circle inside the house. And they'll look at me and just laugh, and Dad is in his routine. Dad is in their routine. But they was good with it. They was good with it. And if I got ready to put certain things in my mouth, they say, "Okay, Dad, okay, that's enough." And when they get ready to fix my food, I ask for more. Daddy, you don't have enough. Daddy, you don't have enough. So they work with me as well. They work with me as well. And my wife never did cook out of the ordinary. She cooked healthy. So I praise her, or ever since we've been married, she cooked healthy. So by her cooking healthy and me eating, my eating habits, then when the doctor told me I had diabetes, I really didn't believe it. I said, no, I don't have diabetes. I can't have diabetes. But I did, and that's how they accepted it. But my mother-in-law, exceptional.
And so right now, are you still taking the insulin shots, or what
No,
are you
no,
actually
no.
taking now?
I stopped taking insulin shots a week and a half. I've been diabetic for 5 years now. I stopped taking the insulin within a week and a half after being diagnosed.
Okay.
Now all I take is a metformin pill 2 times a day, and that's it.
And so you was your weight, is your weight significantly different than prior to the diagnosis?
Yes. I was 261, 261 5 years ago when I was diagnosed, and right now my current rate is 195.
Okay.
195. So your weight is that's a life change. That's a life change. You get your weight down, you exercise, and eat well. But it's the life change thing is you got to do it every day. Don't let up. You got to do it every day. Don't let up. And you'll feel great. Once the weight start coming off you, oh, you'll feel great. And once you feel great, you don't want to go back. You shouldn't want to go back.
So when you do a life change like you're describing with the eating right and exercising, have your friends have they supported you in this? Do they go with you to walk, or your family, or playing basketball, or what is it has changed or not in the 5 years with your lifestyle and your social interaction with your with your family and your friends?
Nothing have changed. My exercise I mostly do by myself. Um, Friends, I share it with them my experience. I have a couple of friends that's diabetic, and I share with them what I do. But I still see them doing the wrong thing, and a lot of them tell me, "Man, I wish I had the courage to do what you can do because I can't get up and walk an hour in the morning and an hour in the evening, and I love to eat." And so I said, "Do you love?" And most of them are on insulin and on the pill. I said, "Well, do you like shooting yourself up every day?" They said, "No." I said, "Well, why don't you change it?" I mean, it's nothing but eating right and exercise, but they're lazy. The word is lazy. You cannot be lazy with diabetes. Point blank. You cannot be lazy. If you lazy with diabetes, you're gonna get sicker and sicker and sicker. Because when I was walking around with diabetes, I didn't know it. I mean, I thought I was completely healthy. I really did. I didn't get no bad feelings or anything, but I'm walking around with this disease. And I knew people that had it. I've known people who have been on dialysis from it. I used to work for a man whose wife that I basically sometimes had to rush home to give her orange juice and sugar through the phone from 911 because she had fell out from it. The first thing they told me to get orange juice and sugar and put it in her mouth, and it brought her back. So I've seen that. So when he told me I was a diabetic, I don't want to go that route. I vowed to myself that I never let it get to that point if I can control it. It's all about you controlling it. You can get with groups and talk about it, but it starts with you. Anybody can tell you anything, their story and what to do, but it starts with you, and you can't be lazy with it. You can't be lazy with it.
So can you share, when you say exercise, a lot of times people think that means you got to go to the gym and lift 500 pounds every day. So what type of exercise do you do? Is it merely walking, or do you suggest that people do whatever is in their normal routine? What do you suggest? What do you do, and then what do you suggest?
Well, I played sports when I was younger, and my doctor said a lot of people think they got to go to the gym, lift weights, run. He said, well, all it takes is a brisk walk. You don't have to be lifting anything and this and that. All it takes is a brisk walk. Get up in the morning air, and take a brisk 1 hour walk. If you want to do more than that, do that. It's just walking. There's none of that. When people, and what that made me see, when people think of you got to exercise, they think of lifting up the gym, lifting up the stuff, running, and all, and you don't have to do that. What I did, Miss Odom, well, I can't call you Miss Odom, but you're so small. What I did is I got music. I got a music made up on this CD, and about an hour work on the CD. Whatever music you want, I prefer gospel and then rock and roll. Like I like a little rock and roll. So I have it within an hour. I make it up with an hour. Put my earphones on and just go. And just go for that 1 hour. When that music in, you don't walk that hour. And you start slowing it down. Sometimes I start the music all the way back over and go again.
Mhm.
So get something you pleasant with. Music. Get the music you want. You have an upbeat music in it. You have slow music in it. That's the way I did it. I have an upbeat music in it. And when the upbeat music come on, I go with that beat. Then when I have the slower music, I slow down a little bit. And when the upbeat comes, when you slow down a little bit, you gain getting your little strength back to start back into the beat. So it's just brisk walking. That's all it is. Walking, no running. Running as you get older, running put a lot of pressure on your knees. When you're running and stepping down real hard, all it takes is a light brisk walk. That's all it is.
So did you have to spend a lot of money on your walking shoes? Some people have, that as a distraction or maybe an excuse. So this was really, you just said you're just going to take responsibility and be accountable for your life. And did you go and buy you some more walking shoes, a whole new outfit, or what did you do? You just simply got up and did it?
Everything is in your closet.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to go buy anything. Everything is in your closet. You don't have to go buy new walking shoes, gym clothes, everything. Everybody have a pair of shorts and a shirt, or a pair of long pants and a shirt that is comfortable to just walk around the house with. And everyone have a pair of tennis shoes or a pair of shoes they walk good in. And once you start to walking in and don't feel good, you want to go and buy you something comfortable. Buy you something comfortable. It don't have to be expensive. Buy you something comfortable. I mean, what is, um, I just say a $90 pair of tennis shoes. What is a $90 pair of tennis shoes compared to your health?
I
Add it
love
up.
that.
Add it
One
up.
of the things you mentioned is you're a doctor, and so you were already having your regular checkups. It was not that you felt bad. This was doing your regular routine preventative checkup that your doctor informed you of the diagnosis. Is that correct?
That is correct. That is correct. Now, what I had did for 2 years, I had missed my regular checkups. For 2 years, I had missed my regular checkups. And within that 2 years, that's when I guess I acquired this. And I knew I had gained weight, and And I tell you the truth, I knew my eating habits had changed because I was always hungry, and then always thirsty, and then it was always a kind of fruited taste in my mouth. It just after I eat, I drink. It's just that. And matter of fact, it was one of my godchildren. We was on the job site. One of my godsons says to me, and I didn't even notice that I was doing it. He said, Godfather, he said, every time I look around, you going to urinate. I said, okay. And I didn't know he had noticed me like that. And by the end of the day, he said, you've been urinating all day. He didn't use the word urinating, but
Yeah.
he said, you've been urinating all day. He said, you need to get that checked. And when he told me that, I said, okay, I will. So I called my doctor and I set up an appointment and I went within the next 2 days and that's when he told me. That's when he told me. But other than that, I didn't feel faint. I didn't feel bad or anything. I'm not walking around with this. So once I went there, and another thing, get your annual checkup.
Mm-hmm.
Get your annual checkup. That helps a lot because if I would have been getting my annual checkup, I would have known earlier,
Mm-hmm.
a lot earlier. So get your annual checkup.
Well, I think I know, I believe that you are going to save lives, Mr. Walker. And this is what I think I personally got from this is you took personal responsibility for your life and for the people around you that depend on you and love you. You are a role model. And so you also described listening to your godson. And so some people don't take good instruction. And so it sounds like you give it because your doctor asked you to come speak to those groups of men, having them develop plans for their own life, which of course impacting so many other people that care about them. And so you, quite frankly, this testimony that you're giving, I want you to know that I appreciate you on behalf of so many more that are going to listen to you, to your testimony, and they're going to take action. I know it. They're going to do their annual exams with their doctor. They're going to listen to the friends around them that's telling them, because just like you saying, you were doing your daily routine, and someone else outside of you noticed this is different, and go get that checked. Your wife, your family, they were still providing healthy meals inside the house. So maybe we were picking up things outside of the house. And I don't know, did you ever drink pops at all or soda pops?
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. That was about being a construction worker at the time. It was mostly Gatorade. It was
Mm-hmm.
mostly Gatorade working out in the heat. So I was just a Gatorade junkie, and that was one of the things that was really just building it up, building it up, building it up. But I can say this: water, water, water,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
water, water flushes everything out. Water gives you that full feeling where you don't want to eat. Water, water. That's all I can say. Water.
Well, I
Give
love it.
yourself a little water.
I love it. I love, love, love it. So all of the tips really are simple as far as the lifestyle changes. It sounds like we get up and walk and move around. I think it is. That's the message is to
Yes.
move around, get moving, because we in our society right now have a sedentary lifestyle and everything is so convenient. So we may need to just get up and move around, whether that is for someone it might be better in the morning, during the day, and in the afternoon. I know one of my sisters actually she walks during her lunch break. She would take that time and go outside of the building and walk um, I don't know how long or how often, but I know she does it. I would believe it's at least 3 times a day, 3 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
And she tells me that she feels better just doing that. Also, she constantly keeps a big thing of water with her. And
Right.
my other sister, she walks all the time. And so I know that you can fit it in. That's the whole point. It's only hard if we believe it is. And especially the water you mentioned, the different types of foods. I also noticed, and I'm not the world's best cook. Actually, I'm not the world's cook. However, I do realize that when I cook in the house, and my mom actually told me that the diet begins at the grocery store. And
Mm-hmm.
so when I have the snacks in the house, well, I brought them in there. And so uh, what's in the basket, that's in my control. And
Right.
so I love the fact that you said your wife has always been cooking, using a healthy lifestyle, the meals. Um, and sometimes, we don't take good to that. We want to make sure that we get something outside of that because we're in our heads, healthy is wrong. Well, guess what? I'm telling you what, I love me some greens and some
That's right.
beans and
That's right.
peas.
That's right.
And so I had to push back from the cornbread. I love cornbread, but I had to push back from that. And I also noticed that the plates seem to be getting bigger and bigger when you go to the restaurant. So sometimes I might just tell them in the beginning when they bring my food, I would say, just bring me a to-go plate. And that right away, I would just divide that up. And then they give you like 2 or 3 meals in one portion
Right.
sizes. And so has your portion size changed?
My portion size has changed, and get a spoonful. Get a spoonful of everything you like. Get a spoonful. Eat that. Now you might eat that, and if that fills you, stop. Stop. Just get a spoonful of everything you like. If that fills you, stop. Now in this day and time, you got the Google. You can Google you can Google a diabetic, what should a diet be, and you can make your own diet. You don't have to go and ask someone to make your own diet. You can see what you like, what you can't eat in the morning. Breakfast is the key. Let me say that. Always eat breakfast. Always eat breakfast. Don't skip breakfast because of this. Once lunchtime comes, you hungry. Your eyes gonna be bigger than your stomach. And what you see, you're gonna want to eat a whole lot of. Eat breakfast. When lunchtime comes, you might still have that fullness. Eat a small amount for lunch, and then come dinner time, eat again. Now through the night, you might want something to snack on, which I have a granola bar or something like that. Just snack on with water. But do the water. Always do the water. Drink more water than you eat, because the water going to give you that full filling. That full filling. But go and Google, and you set up your own menu. You set up your own menu.
Well, Mr. Walker, we really do appreciate you sharing your testimony, your diabetes management testimony, because we hear so many stories of people who have allowed the disease to ravage their bodies and impact their families negatively. And
Yes.
so we are very, very proud of you and very grateful for you sharing your story with us. Is there anything you would like to just close out with?
Well, you just mentioned family. When you become a diabetic, it's not only you handling this. Your family is going through it with you. Would you want to not control it and take your family down that path of all this doctor, hospitals, in and out of here, in and out of all these health facilities? You're taking your family through this. You're not only going through this alone, you're taking your family through this. So you have to think hard about it. Do I want to take my children through this? Do I want to take my wife through this? And I thought like this. Do I want to take my wife through? I'm always hospitalized and all that with my girls. And I decided not to do that. I decided not to do that. And you if you want to do that, it's bad. It's bad. You don't have no concern for them, for their feelings. And I do. And I do. So I decided to get on top of it. Now, don't get me wrong. I have jumped off the bandwagon from here to there. But I know how to get back on. I know how to get back on and ride it on out. So think about, you're not the only one dealing with this if you have family. You taking your family through it as well.
I just want to say thanks. So what you demonstrate to me is accountability, responsibility, respect, and safety. And those are the 4 things I insist on teaching my son. And I know my son watches you, so I want you to know that I personally need you to survive. And I'm very proud of you for taking responsibility and action every day. And so with that, Mr. Willie Walker, we are just grateful, grateful, grateful. And I will say again, I'm Angela M. Odom. After retiring from the Army just in August of 2015, after serving 26 years of honorable service, I decided I love sharing practical opportunities, observations, and goodness with like-minded people. I want to support you in reaching your highest self. I recommend you follow me at angelaodom.com and subscribe to my blog. You can get my thoughts, efforts, and actions and experiences delivered directly to your inbox. And so with that, make it a great day. If you can't make it great, make it wonderful.